So today we are doing the My Makeup Collection tag questions. This tag was created by a YouTuber by the name of Georgia Harris, and I'm gonna link the video of that down below. Just thought this would be cute, fun to do. Might as well sit here and record multiple things since my makeup's done. Why not? I really like how my shirt and my eyes are matching today. Okay, makeup collection tags. How long have you been collecting makeup? I've been collecting it, I want to say, since I graduated college and got a job where I could afford to be collecting makeup. What was that? Oh, I have to look at my resume to be quite honest, because I have no clue. 2015 it started, and then 2016 it started to get even heavier. So it's 2020 now, so it's been a good five-ish years when I started collecting makeup heavy. Before that, my makeup collection was non-existent. It existed of the stuff my mom bought me from MAC back when I was in high school. And I believe what started it was I actually ran out of foundation from MAC, and that foundation was atrocious anyway. It was quite orange. So instead, and then I went back to the MAC store trying to find the same shade, but the bottle was so old and everything had rubbed off of it, and then I couldn't even find out which shade it was. So I ended up getting matched for a different shade, bought another MAC foundation, hated that shade because honestly it made me look like a Oompa Loompa. And then I ended up in Sephora, and that's when it started. So that's how I got into makeup more than I was already before. Getting a job that can actually pay me so I can have this unnecessary expensive hobby, and then Sephora. Just walking into Sephora trying to find a decent foundation literally sparked all of this off. So that was back in 2000, circa 15, 16-ish. Yeah, somewhere back then. What kind of collection do you have? Minimal, utilitarian. Definitely don't have a minimal collection. I'm trying to think. Utilitarian sounds nuts for a makeup collection. Does that mean you only have the necessities? Okay, what kind of collection do you have? Minimal, utilitarian, aesthetic, historical, etc. So I'm guessing it's utilitarian here in this context means you only have what you need and is the most beneficial for you to have it or own it. You get the most use out of it, and you only have the one. I would say it's a mix between, it's definitely aesthetic because I do buy things for packaging. Some of it's historical, I'm just keeping it for the sake of it holds sentimental value to me. I find this, I just can't let it go. And then I do have utilitarian mixed in there as well. The things I'm utilitarian about, you will not see reviews on complexion products here. No foundations and concealers. I feel my base is pretty flawless, and I do not really experiment or step out the box when it comes to my foundation and concealers. I don't really step out the box when it comes to my eyebrows or mascara either. The one thing I will say, I have a very huge collector's part in here is eyeshadow palettes. I have so many of them, and I feel I barely use them because most days I just do my base. And I don't waste the extra 10 minutes to do eyeshadow. 10-15 minutes, however long it's going to take to do eyeshadow. But yeah, if it's a blush, I'll try bronzer though. I am a bronzer fanatic. I am a highlight fanatic. And I think it's neck and neck for those two. I have a whole drawer dedicated to highlighters. At one point I was highlighter crazy, but bronzer and highlighter are my favorite things, so I feel I still will reach out for new ones of those, but everything else kind of it depends. If it's aesthetically pleasing to me, it looks interesting, it's calling my name, I'll get it, but if not, I won't. So I'm utilitarian when it comes to my base complexion products. I'm aesthetic when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, and I'm just kind of all over the place when it comes to blush and highlight. Bronzer and highlight, not blush and highlight. I don't have that many blushes. I don't think I do. Question number 3. Are you a completionist? No. And thank God, because if I was, I would be broke. So a completionist is somebody who feels the need to have everything in a single collection. So when a makeup collection drops, you buy every single piece No, I have never felt the need to buy every single piece in a collection. I would say the closest I have come to being a completionist, like I know people sometimes collect all the eyeshadow palettes from one brand or all the blushes from one brand or like in that vein. I have never felt the need to buy all of anything from any particular brand, with the exception maybe of Pat McGrath. But even then, I'm not a completionist with her stuff because I am missing 2 palettes out of all the palettes she has ever released, eyeshadow palettes. So I'm missing Mothership number 3, the purple one. And I never bought that mini Mothership, the gray one with the cool taupey shades in it, because I don't really like cool taupey shades, so I didn't see myself using it. So I didn't bite the bullet there. But a part of me feels like I should have those things. Like, it would make my Pat McGrath collection eyeshadow-wise complete, right? But yeah, no, I don't feel like I'm a completionist. Like, I'm getting to the point where I feel like if I don't see myself realistically using it in any capacity, it's not coming home. So that's that. How do you store and organize your collection? So I have like 2 areas in my room that like aid to this, I guess. The first place is over there. You can't see it, it's out of sight, but it's my little corner where I do my hair and makeup on an everyday basis. My mirror and all that stuff is there, and all my everyday stuff is kind of over there. Now, my main makeup collection is stored behind me. Not the entire dresser behind me, but the majority of the dresser. Underneath it has those clear acrylic drawers from the Container Store. And I put all of that stuff and it's under that dresser underneath, because it's literally just enough space for one of those drawers to fit under there. So, and then the rest is in the closet. I have one drawer, big drawer of makeup that's in the closet. It's like the sweater drawer size. And that's full of full of eyeshadow palettes and mostly collector's items, because it's up high and I'm short, and since I can't really reach things, most of the stuff in that drawer don't get moved or touched too much. And if I was to aesthetically show you what it looked like, since they're the clear acrylic drawers and you can see what's inside of them, they're organized by the way you do your face. So the first drawer underneath this dresser here is like all my, it'd probably be easier to insert clips, and I'm thinking about it. But the first drawer is like all complexion products, so foundations, concealers, and setting powders. Then the next drawer you have bronzers and blushes. Oh, and the first drawer has setting sprays as well. Then the second drawer has bronzers and blushes. Then the third drawer has face palettes. Yeah, I'm like doing this off the top of my head. Like, it'd be easier to just look down there behind me, but I don't feel like moving. And yeah, then it's like face palettes. So like palettes that have highlights and blushers, like 6 of them or 8 of them or however many, 4 of them come in a palette. And then I have eyeshadows, and then the rest of it's all eyeshadows. And it's funny because it's organized in a way where all my Pat McGrath stuff, since I consider her stuff to be like, I have something in front of me now, to be very decorative and aesthetically pleasing to look at, all of her stuff is in the front of each drawer. It's that or Fenty. Black brands in the front. But no, I really like the aesthetic of the packaging for a lot of Pat McGrath stuff. So if you look, like, all the Pat McGrath stuff is in the front. Since it's clear, you can see clear what's in that drawer. So that's how I store my makeup. So it's stored in the order you would do your face. And then for my everyday station, I grab stuff out of these drawers behind me and rotate them. So like I'll switch out the highlighters and stuff. So I have this little file divider. I'll take a picture of that too, that I like use to rotate stuff. So I'll switch out blushes, bronzers, highlight, eyeshadow palettes, and what can fit up there is what stays up there. And I usually rotate it. I used to rotate it monthly, but the bigger my collection got, it started to become more like rotate weekly thing. Now it's kind of rotate whenever I feel like I'm tired of using the same things. But for the most part, that's how I try to shuffle and organize my collection. What is your favorite thing about your collection? I would say now that I like found like my base products, the fact that like I've been able to throw away stuff. I like that it's actually finally a usable collection. I felt too overwhelmed having like 10 foundations and 10 of this and 10 powder. Like I just like, am I realistically gonna get through all this shit? No. So I feel like now my favorite thing is that like I have my base products down, and then I stopped buying so much stuff. But other than that, I would say the thing I probably covet most of my collection is my Pat McGrath palettes. Those are my favorite eyeshadow formulas, I think, to date. So yeah, that's my favorite thing. But also I like that it's now starting to be a little bit more curated. Before I was trying everything under the sun. Now like I don't care to do that anymore. So I'm glad it's a little bit more realistic for not realistic because I own a shit ton of makeup, but it's a little less overwhelming, I will say that. What is your least favorite thing about or something to improve your collection? So I don't think I need anything that would improve my collection. I think I actually recently started to do that this year. I never really was into blush, mainly because most of the blushes that worked on my complexion, I wasn't a fan of the color. Like they're usually those dark purplish blushes, those berry shades. I was never a big purple fan or berry fan, so like you will rarely see that color around here. I always wanted something that was like orange, that sun-kissed type blush look. So my blush collection was lacking, to say the least. And I finally found like blushes that work for my complexion, that are that hue that I like, that show up on my skin. So that's one thing that I feel like I was liking. Now I have more than enough blush. Like I don't need any more blush. But my least favorite thing about my collection, I would probably say how much powders I have. Like I'm trying to chug through them. But it's a lot. It's a lot. And a part of me is like, Lauren, realistically, you're just going to use the same 2 powders over and over again. And not touch those other powders ever again. But like, at the same time, I don't want to waste them because powders don't really go bad. So I don't know. That's my least favorite thing, that I have so many powders. And I really would like to get rid of a lot of them. But I don't use a lot of powder in my regular makeup. So I don't see me running through the powder. Like it's going to take me several years to run through all these damn powders. Like even putting makeup on my face every day, it's going to take several years to run through all these powders. So that's my least favorite thing about my collection. I feel like it's just taking up, since they're usually in the jars, it's taking up like an obnoxious amount of space. What's the biggest category of your collection? Eyeshadow palettes. What's the smallest category of your collection? Blushes. Like I said, I just recently got into blush, so I don't feel like I have a lot of blushes. That and setting sprays. I think I own like 4. Those are the 2 smallest categories in my collection. And the setting sprays is way smaller than the amount of blushes I now own. Do you have a holy grail in your collection? I have a few actually. And I'm thinking about doing a video about it where I just put my GOAT makeup products, the greatest of all time makeup products that I will always use and always come back to. But I would have to say probably my holy grail is that Pat McGrath foundation. Like I can literally put that shit on and people will be questioning, is it my skin or not? Just by itself. It literally provides a perfect light layer of coverage. And I found the older I get and the more I wear makeup, the less I want it to feel like it's on my face. Like right now I don't feel like there's anything on my face, even though I have a full face of makeup. It's very light, it's very airy. If I took away the eye makeup, if I took away stuff, like it would just look like you would be wondering if I had anything on. But that would probably be like the #1 holy grail. Before I found that foundation, I used to not use foundation. I used to just use concealer because I hated it. I felt like the second I put foundation on, my face felt heavy. Like I felt cakey. So once I found that foundation, like I feel like my base got better. So that is my holy grail. Do you ever wish your collection was bigger / smaller, or is it complete? My collection is definitely complete. I wish it was smaller. I wish, like I said, I could get rid of all these goddamn powders I feel like after like another year or so, I'm just gonna end up checking them. But I wish I could get, like, I wish there was certain things that I still didn't have. Like, I still do have other foundation sitting in my drawer that I just keep as backup, just in case I do run out. But I also have a backup of my favorites in my collection too. So it's like, do I really need this much makeup? No, nobody does. But I wish it was smaller, and I wish I would, if I could go back in time and not purchase a lot of the eyeshadow palettes I have now, I would probably just stick to one brand, and or maybe two. And I think the two brands I would probably end up sticking to, or it's probably three, would be ColourPop, Pat McGrath, and Natasha Denona. And then, like, I think I would be content with just having those eyeshadow palettes in my collection, and everything else can go. Like, I really don't need all this makeup, but I wish it was smaller, yes. How often do you declutter makeup in your collection? Okay, so I used to declutter makeup annually. I actually have little cousins that are like into makeup as much as I am. So yeah, I just bring them to relatives, family members. Sometimes I give them to my coworkers who have kids that are in teenage years and into makeup. But I used to declutter annually. I would say for the past 3 years, I decluttered annually. This year, I have not decluttered a thing. And and I'm proud of myself for that, because it shows that I have slowed down. I'm not buying as much shit. Like, I don't feel like I'm not going to use and shit that I don't need. So I have a lot less to give this year. I don't think I'm going to declutter at all this year. So, but it used to be annually. Like, I would be giving away at least 20 things annually. Do you ever get envious seeing other people's makeup collections? No. Can't say I ever have. I think I get envious more so the storage of it. Like, I like seeing how people organize their stuff. I like those videos. Like, I watch videos where people organize or declutter their own makeup. I like that. But I never got envious of something that somebody had in their collection that I didn't personally have. Who on YouTube has the best makeup collection video? I have no clue. I feel like most YouTubers have an obnoxious amount of makeup. So, and to me that's like excessive, especially since I'm trying to be a little bit more minimalistic as it goes. Like, I don't want to be walking into like a new place with this much shit with me. Like, I want to kind of cut it down. So yeah. I can't say, I don't know anybody that does, to be quite honest. What's some advice you give to a future makeup collector? Buy what you need. Use what you have. Don't buy anything until you used up what you have. It will save you a lot of space, time, and money. I would say don't have more than any of 2 things in each category. So if you have foundation, you can have like 2. If you have concealer, have 2. If you have bronzers, have 2. Like, try not to go past the 2 limit. And if you find yourself going past that limit, I would have to ask you why. I found that this helped me a lot in like cutting down spending and, you know, buying excessive amounts of makeup. Yeah, it definitely helps me a lot. Like, I have to ask myself, why am I buying this? Do I need this? No. Nobody needs any of this crap, but like, why am I buying this? Is it necessary? Is it something I'm missing in my collection? Will it change or enhance my makeup? Usually the answers to most of these questions is no. Like, straight off the back, it's just no. So why am I buying it if the answers is no? I would say just ask yourself those questions before you go out and start collecting makeup. Like, is it necessary? Am I actually going to use it? Why are you collecting it? Because I buy makeup to use it. And if I feel like I can't use it, that's usually when it gets decluttered, right? But if I can use it and I do use it, like, I'm going to use it to the death. And I have used up some things, hit pan on them, had to repurchase them, but that's rare, especially since I have a shit ton of everything in my collection. That is the makeup collection tag. Yeah, don't become a makeup collector. It's a bad habit. It's like addicting. It's like gambling almost. Like, it's like being a sneakerhead or any other like super enthusiastic hobby. Like, it starts to get expensive. It starts to get ridiculous. Like, you don't actually get the value of which you're supposed to use it for, which in this case is your face. Trying to think. I think that's it. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. If you like, comment, follow, subscribe, and until next time, stay safe. Bye, guys.